All right, what's up, everybody? I'm back again. This time with a question. I've been checking out a couple videos, seeing a couple other people's theses, and we got some questions that we probably won't get answered right now, but at least we can kind of, what's up, everybody? Oops. We can kind of think through them and see if there's anything there. But first of all, we got to get into this taxes question. Have I ever paid taxes? It depends on how you consider that. I mean, I never made enough money to like technically have to pay taxes, but I've never got a tax return ever in my life, including on my most recent 2 W-2 forms. No returns. So technically, the IRS does owe me money. So that's that there. People like, what? You never got a tax return? Yeah, never, ever. Been working since like 1998. Took like 4 years off for college. Never got a tax return. Whoops. Oh, you're like, you never pay taxes, man. You never pay taxes. You never pay taxes, man. Whoops. Whoops. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, no, for real though. I never got a tax return ever. I was like, why would I do that? I'm like, wait, if they owe me money, that's how it works, right? If someone owes you money, you'll never see them. You'll never see them if they owe you money. All right. Let's get into this game and this question. All right. So I've been checking out Academic Agent's work. He's got some serious intellectually hard-hitting stuff on his channel. Check it out, Academic Agent. I think his website is Academic Agency. But I think he's been kind of checking into the Nick thing too and listening to more of what's going on the left. I mean, I listen to what's going on the left too. Like I check out Rev Left channel and also Acid Horizon. Yeah. I think Mark Fisher is a true genius. Like, you know, he's worked out the end of the future or whatever, and the vampire, like, it's kind of like the cathedral, but it's like vampires or whatever. Maybe I'll pull those up one day. You know, I listen to that type of stuff too. Excuse me. But, you know, it does kind of seem like it's almost inevitable. And it's funny because that's what Quigley was talking about how the signifiers will change, but people won't be able to like relate to the signifiers. And it's like, we've been calling each other like that, you know? Everyone's like, you're a Nazi, you're a Nazi, you're a Nazi, you're a Nazi, no, you're a Nazi, no, you're a Nazi, right? But it kind of almost is the inevitable conclusion, you know, of having a national country with socialism in it, right? And they're like, oh, I don't want to be a Nazi. No, you're not. Like, it's like the word itself no longer can be, even though it is a clearly usefully descriptive word, but because of the signifiers, right? The old signifiers that are outdated and don't even really work anymore. People are like afraid of it. But I mean, it does make sense, you know. I think the thing that is going to be missing in the United States as opposed to like in Britain is going to be this like Christian part, you know, because I just don't see how the Christians and the atheists can ever see eye to eye. They can't, you know. It's like so there's like that added layer You know, you've got the nationalism and the socialism, but you've also got the Christianity versus the atheism. You know, the republicanism versus the democratic society. So it's like three layers at least, right? And then you've got the class layer, the race layer. Yeah. But I mean, in general, I agree, you know, people shouldn't be having foreign loyalties. Like, I don't care what country. I'm not singling any country out. I'm not. It's like whatever country, you're sending all your money back to Africa, you're sending all your money to Mexico, South America, you know, just funneling it out of here. You know, I think I mean, colonization, as horrible of a name as it has, I think a more voluntary system of, you know, because that would solve a lot of the problem with the overproduction of elites too, as well, where we've got all these college educated people that could definitely teach, you know, in other countries and teach other countries aspects and export, you know, like he was saying, you know, the non-material exports. But I think people reject it because they see, you know, the homo globo trans stuff, and they're like, yeah, we like the McDonald's and we like the clean water and we like the literacy for the most part, but why do you gotta slide the globo homo in there though, you know? And that's what's getting rejected. Why we can't export the non-material, why we can't export our values. Because they're looking at our values like, what? I mean, we can't even get the Christians that live in America. Dudes that were like born in California. Good old California boys. They ain't playing that. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, I don't know how that part is gonna work. Yeah. Because like the atheist values and the Christian values they're just so opposed, you know. And the Christians do have like a strong claim that, you know, American values are Christian values. I mean, I don't see how that's escapable, you know. So then it would have to be like a Christian nationalist socialist thing with also a way to be secular. It's starting to get a little complicated here. Yeah. A little bit, right? Like, it's easy when you're just like, okay, well, we got to close the borders and give everybody health care. Sure. But it's like, what does that mean to people though? You know, because to some people, having the borders open is like a huge value to them. And to some people, you know, having a religious Christian values is like, they feel like that's necessary for a country to even exist, to have an ontology. Because they believe that like an atheist secular nation doesn't even really have an ontology. And that's part of the reason why, you know, the other more religious countries, like the Islamic countries, you know, India, stuff like that, they're not really accepting the global homo. You know. So, yeah, I think the nationalist aspect is definitely there. And, you know, I mean, socialism can work, but I'm just looking at it more like, bruh, you know, I've seen Animal Farm. And it's like right now, Everything's just decentralized, and if we're in a centralized authority, that's not really an American thing. Like, it might work in Europe more, but because of the way that this country structure, because like I've noticed too, like Europeans are like way more for depopulation, and it makes sense. Like, you know, you live in Britain, it's tiny, it's like the size of New Jersey. So you guys would kind of be like, well, you know, do we really need so many people? Do we really need so many people? But like America, there's so much space. And I know people say, oh, but global warming. No, there's enough space. There's like so much space, and that's ready to be used. And there's like materials here that are ridiculous. Like, for example, in Colorado, there's actually like a gold mine that's full of gold. I went there a couple times, and like you can still pan for gold in the river that's coming out of the cave of that they blew in. It's not really a cave, it's like a tunnel cave that they blew into the side of the mountain. And it's not like nuggets, because the way that, you know, the water drips down from the top through the snow, and then so there's like gold veins in the mountain. It's like veins. So it's kind of difficult to get out, because what they used to do was like drill shafts up into it and then blow it out with dynamite and then like truck it out or whatever, cart it out. But I think with modern technology, you know, we could probably get the gold out of that mountain. You know what I'm saying? Like things like that are just like completely untapped. Like there's literally like a mountain full of gold in Colorado just sitting there, and they stopped mining it in the 1800s because, you know, the technology, it wasn't profitable. You know, and it's like similar things like what's going on in El Salvador. Like, you know, they're literally using a volcano to make Bitcoin. They're using the energy from a volcano to make Bitcoin. And then they're using that Bitcoin to create bombs and funds for their country. And that's how they were able to build all that stuff and revitalize their country. Simply by hooking up computers to a volcano and printing Bitcoin for free using the energy of the volcano. You know? And we're still talking about National Socialism? Really? You know what I'm saying? There's heat vents and all that stuff up in like the northern parts of the United States. It's all just like, I'm just more of like, I think that the states' rights thing is more like, in order for the United States, where people just need to kind of reorganize. Not like a complete balkanization, but, you know, that was the whole purpose of the states in the first place, was that they could each have their own ontology. That's what states means. You know? So it's not just like, you know, see what I'm saying? It's like the federalization ruined the like spirit of states' rights. And they're so far overreaching. Like, the founding fathers had a great plan. It was great. They weren't completely against socialism. I mean, they were Freemasons. You know? They were for socialism. They were for liberty, brotherhood, and equality. You know, as long as you were in good standing and all that stuff, then you could receive help. You could receive work. So they weren't like some crazy like ANCAPs or whatever. You know, they worked together in groups. But then they also realized that people have different modes of being, and that's why they created the different states and gave the states rights to conduct themselves in the manner that they see fit. To decentralize the government and to allow people to live amongst people that have common like minds as them without interfering, because that's what we wanted. That was the whole reason why they separated church and state. It wasn't to dismiss religion. It wasn't to dismiss, like, you know, any of those types of concerns. It was simply just to say that, look, this is America. We don't want to have a war over what we believe. And if it comes down to having a war over what we believe, it's better that we go our own ways and set up our own systems in another place. And granted, we can't just go west anymore, but the thing is, we can reorganize the states and take it back, you know, like, because no one really knows which system will work, because, you know, the communists will claim that the capitalists always subverted all of their attempts in the, like, 20th century to actually set up like a communist state. Like, they'll say, oh, the capitalists ruined Cuba, the capitalists attacked Russia, right? It was the capitalists' fault. The capitalists messed up South America, not the communists, right? That's their claim. Right? So we don't really know. According to them, we don't really know if it will work, right? And we don't really know if, like, capitalism will work either, because you got, you know, hijacked by, like, money interest or whatever, and stopped doing the thing that it was supposed to do in the first place, which was make life better for the citizens of the country. You know, so, like I'm saying, I'm a big proponent of speciation rather than, you know, Darwinism. But, you know, I mean, I see the point, and I definitely do think that, you know, we need to get at least health care for everyone. But we also need to close the borders, because, I mean, come on. We're not doing the great replacement, bro. I mean, I know Academic Agent doesn't want to do that, but I'm just saying in general. You know? That's just what I think. Like, I think in Europe it's more designed for that, because you guys originally had a monarchy, so you guys are kind of primed for it. You know, you're more culturally adapted for that. But the type of people that came here to America, I mean, it's just a different type of person. I mean, even Europeans look different, you know, than Americans. You know, it's a distinct group of people, of white people. So, you know, that's just my thoughts on it. I'm just like, you know, let's just stick with the Constitution and also follow the spirit of, like, you know, humanity and not just want to, like, kill everybody. But that's part of capitalism, you know. It's Hobbesian. It's like you do a free market capitalism and it turns into Hobbes, because everyone's just like, oh, it's time to die. It's time for you to die, for me to live. And you never know when someone's gonna jump out at you and try to get you and take you for your stuff, and you just gotta walk around scared all the time like you live in the jungle, right? Or you have to have some type of strongman leader that's gonna tell everybody how it's gonna be, and that's your protection. Right. You know, because I think that's why people are so resistant to socialism in the first place here, is because of the racial dynamic. Like, you know, races don't want to pay for other races, you know, because they have different traits and things like that. I think that's part of the reason why. So it's like, you know, it's going to be more difficult. I mean, I think Britain is still like a high percentage, like, white British. Even though in the cities, I know the cities it's not, but in the countryside, still, I think. You know, so it's that really complicates things. You know. Like, you know, if we could get like $4 billion or something, we could start, you know, giving that $4 billion out to people that like want to move. You know, like say like you live in like Texas and you're a liberal and you want to move to California, or you live in California and you're a liberal and you want to move to Texas. You know, I don't see why the government can't help you out a little bit. You know, or help people relocate, or kind of even just people thinking along these lines. I mean, it's like what, I mean, yeah, okay, some people, they're still where their parents grew up and their great-grandparents, but a lot of people are dislocated now. I mean, I know a lot of my friends, it's like, you know, even ones that live in New Jersey still, they live like far away from where we grew up, and a lot of people don't even live there anymore. You know. So it's kind of like, I guess it just really depends on your values, you know, what you think. You know, but it's like all this, each group, you know, the whole democratic politics thing of each group trying to dominate over each group voting. I mean, it's ridiculous. Like you could disprove democracy in like 3 seconds, like the whole principle of it. People are like, oh, how do you disprove democracy? Okay, put a Jewish guy in a room with 5 Nazis and then take a vote on what's going to happen next. Put a woman in a room with 5 guys and let's take a vote on what's going to happen next. Right? It's like, it's obvious. You wouldn't want to be the one person when there's 5 people that are the opposite of you. And then you'd be like, oh, well, can we try something different? Let's not do this democracy thing. Let's try to rationally, reasonably debate it out, right? Figure out who's right, who's wrong, and if we come to a stalemate, then we just go our own ways. And in most cases, I mean, there are some instances where you can't go your own way, but most of the time. Because I mean, it's just getting ridiculous. Like they've been playing us so much with the back and forth. It's like, oh, every 2 years, every 4 years, you get a Republican, then here comes a Democrat. Then here comes a Republican, and then here comes a Democrat, and a Republican, and a Democrat, and and you got to get hyped up over it, and hyped up over your man, and oh, I mean, it's insane. I mean, the rallies. I mean, I remember going to like political rallies when I was younger and stuff, and I mean, people were excited, but they weren't that excited. It wasn't like a rock concert, you know. It was kind of like people were sitting quietly. Like I saw Bush 1 do a speech once, and it was like, okay, you know, people were excited, but they weren't. It wasn't like a party. It was like everyone was sitting down in their seat in an auditorium silently while he spoke, and then after he spoke, they applauded vigorously. And then, you know, some people went down to the stage to try to talk to him. We left. It wasn't like now, like it's a rock concert with fireworks and frickin' Megan Thee Stallion doing a twerk on stage. I mean, it's ridiculous. It's frickin' ridiculous. It is idiocracy. Like you're voting for butts. Woo! Look, Megan Thee Stallion, she can dance. Although you should watch the video. Megan Thee Stallion tries to keep up with K-pop dancers. If you want to see some funny shit. That's funny. But you know what I'm saying? There's a place for dancing, and then there's a place for politics. And never the twain shall meet. But yeah, that's just what I think about it. I'm not going to drag it out too much longer. I was just kind of going through my thoughts here. So, that's about it. I'll be back later. Have a good one, and peace.